Welcome to a journey through time and wisdom that could fundamentally transform your approach to life in 2025. In a world of constant notifications, artificial intelligence advancements, and ever-increasing pace, the ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers a remarkable counterbalance, a set of timeless principles that have guided humans through plagues, wars, and personal tragedies for over 2,000 years. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or maintaining a stiff upper lip as popular misconceptions might suggest. Rather, it's a practical philosophy developed in ancient Greece and Rome that provides a framework for developing inner strength, emotional resilience, and personal tranquility regardless of external circumstances. The Stoics, figures like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, weren't detached theorists but people who faced real challenges: exile, imprisonment, and in Marcus Aurelius's case, the burden of ruling an empire during times of plague and war. As we stand at the threshold of 2025, these ancient teachings feel surprisingly relevant. In our hyper-connected yet increasingly anxious society, where burnout, information overload, and existential uncertainty have become commonplace, Stoicism offers not an escape but a way through, a set of practical tools for maintaining clarity, purpose, and equanimity. The 10 principles we'll explore today aren't just philosophical concepts to contemplate, they're practical strategies you can implement immediately to navigate life's complexities with greater wisdom and less suffering. From distinguishing between what you can and cannot control to embracing discomfort as a pathway to growth, these ideas have transformed countless lives throughout history and continue to do so today. Before we dive into these principles, let me ask you, how often do you find yourself overwhelmed by circumstances beyond your control? How frequently do you catch yourself chasing external validations, more likes, more possessions, more achievements, only to discover they don't bring lasting satisfaction? If you're like most of us, probably more often than you'd care to admit. The beauty of Stoicism lies in its pragmatism. This isn't about achieving some perfect state of enlightenment or detaching from the world. It's about engaging with life more effectively, responding rather than reacting, choosing your perspectives deliberately, and finding freedom in the spaces between stimulus and response. In 2025, we face unique challenges our Stoic predecessors couldn't have imagined: artificial intelligence reshaping work and society, climate anxiety, digital addiction, and the paradox of being more connected yet more isolated than ever before. Yet the core human experience, our search for meaning, our struggle with uncertainty, our desire for connection and purpose, remains fundamentally unchanged. The 10 Stoic principles we'll explore together offer a time-tested approach to these eternal human challenges. They provide not just philosophical comfort, but actionable strategies for daily life. Whether you're navigating career transitions, relationship difficulties, health challenges, or simply the ordinary complexity of being human in these extraordinary times, these principles offer a foundation for building a more resilient, purposeful, and genuinely satisfying life. Throughout history, these ideas have guided individuals through personal tragedies and societal upheavals. They've informed the thinking of everyone from Frederick the Great to Nelson Mandela, from George Washington to modern CEOs and psychologists. They've influenced cognitive behavioral therapy, mindfulness practices, and contemporary approaches to resilience and mental well-being. As we explore each principle, I encourage you to approach them not as abstract concepts but as practical tools, instruments for crafting a more intentional life. Consider how each might apply to your specific circumstances, challenges, and aspirations. The power of these ideas emerges not from passive understanding, but from active implementation, from turning philosophy into practice. In the coming minutes, we'll examine principles like the dichotomy of control, which teaches us to focus our energy exclusively on what we can influence, negative visualization, which paradoxically increases gratitude and preparedness, the view from above, which puts our problems in cosmic perspective, and 7 other transformative concepts that can serve as compass points as you navigate the complexities of modern life. These aren't quick fixes or life hacks. They're enduring wisdom that requires practice and patience. But I can promise you this: if you genuinely engage with these principles and integrate them into your daily life, 2025 won't just be another year of reacting to circumstances and chasing fleeting satisfactions. It can be the beginning of a more intentional, centered, and meaningful chapter in your life story. So let's begin our exploration of these 10 Stoic principles. Ancient wisdom perfectly suited for modern challenges, timeless insights for navigating the unique complexities of 2025 and beyond. Now that we understand why Stoicism remains so relevant in our rapidly changing world, let's explore the first and perhaps most fundamental principle that can transform your experience of 2025: the dichotomy of control. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of Stoicism's most influential teachers, opens his manual of philosophical guidance with this powerful idea. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. Within our control are opinion, pursuit, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever are our own actions. Not within our control are body, property, reputation, command, and, in one word, whatever are not our own actions. This seemingly simple distinction forms the cornerstone of Stoic practice. In our modern context, it means recognizing that while you cannot control global economic fluctuations, algorithmic changes on social platforms, others' opinions of you, or unexpected health challenges, you absolutely can control your responses to these realities. You can decide where to direct your attention, how to interpret events, and which actions to take in any circumstance. Consider how much mental and emotional energy we typically invest in matters entirely outside our influence. We agonize over weather forecasts that might disrupt our plans. We ruminate about past mistakes that cannot be undone. We worry about potential futures that may never materialize. We obsess over others' perceptions, political developments beyond our reach, and countless other uncontrollables. The Stoics would view this as a profound misallocation of our most precious resource, our attention. Every moment spent fretting about the uncontrollable is a moment stolen from what we genuinely can influence. In 2025, this principle becomes even more crucial as our attention faces unprecedented competition. The average person now encounters more information in a day than someone in the 17th century might have encountered in their lifetime. Artificial intelligence systems are increasingly designed to capture and monetize our focus. Political and environmental uncertainties generate endless opportunities for anxiety about matters largely beyond individual control. Practicing the dichotomy of control doesn't mean becoming passive about circumstances. Rather, it means bringing crystal clarity to where your agency actually lies. When facing any situation, the Stoic practice involves asking, what aspects of this can I influence, and what aspects must I accept? Consider applying this to common scenarios you might face in 2025. A professional setback? You cannot control market conditions or a manager's decision, but you can control your skill development, networking efforts, and how you frame this challenge in your life story. Relationship difficulties? You cannot control another person's feelings or choices, but you can control your communication, boundaries, and the qualities you bring to the interaction. Health concerns? While you cannot control genetic predispositions or certain environmental factors, you can control your nutrition, movement practices, sleep hygiene, and stress management. Marcus Aurelius, writing in his personal journal nearly 2,000 years ago, reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This insight remains revolutionary today. The practical application of this principle requires regular self-questioning. When you notice yourself becoming anxious, frustrated, or overwhelmed, pause and ask, "Am I focusing on something outside my control?" If so, gently redirect your attention to what you can influence, your perspectives, decisions, and actions in this moment. This isn't about passive resignation. The Stoics were people of tremendous action and impact precisely because they didn't waste energy on the uncontrollable. By focusing exclusively on what they could influence, they maximized their effectiveness in areas where their agency was real. In 2025, as technological, political, and environmental changes accelerate, the ability to distinguish between what you can and cannot control will become not just a philosophical exercise, but an essential skill for maintaining mental well-being and personal effectiveness. Consider implementing a simple daily practice. Each morning, take 3 minutes to identify what lies within your control today and what doesn't. This brief exercise can dramatically shift how you experience challenges, reducing unnecessary suffering while increasing your sense of agency where it genuinely exists. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate concern for matters beyond your control. That would be neither possible nor desirable. Rather, it's to ensure that your primary focus and energy go toward what you can actually influence, while developing the equanimity to accept what you cannot. As we move through the remaining principles, you'll notice how many of them build upon this fundamental distinction between the controllable and uncontrollable. A distinction that, once truly internalized, has the power to transform not just your 2025, but your entire approach to life's inevitable challenges and opportunities. Now that we've established the foundation of focusing on what we can control, let's explore a powerful complementary practice that the Stoics used to strengthen their resilience against life's inevitable challenges. This second principle might initially seem counterintuitive, yet it holds remarkable potential for transforming your experience in 2025. The ancient Stoics practiced what they called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Today, we might call this negative visualization. While our contemporary culture often emphasizes positive thinking exclusively, the Stoics recognized the profound value in periodically contemplating what could go wrong. Seneca, the Roman statesman and philosopher, advised, "He who has anticipated the coming of troubles takes away their power when they arrive." This isn't about becoming pessimistic or anxious, but rather developing psychological preparedness for life's inevitable fluctuations. Consider how often we're caught off guard by difficulties simply because we never allowed ourselves to consider their possibility. We're shocked when relationships end, devastated when career setbacks occur, and emotionally overwhelmed when health challenges emerge, not just because these experiences are inherently difficult, but because we've failed to mentally rehearse how we might respond if they happened. In 2025, this practice becomes especially valuable as we navigate increasing uncertainty. Climate variability, economic fluctuations, technological disruptions, and geopolitical tensions create an environment where adaptability isn't just helpful, it's essential. The practice is elegantly simple. Several times each week, take a few moments to imagine losing something you value, perhaps your job, a relationship, your home, your health, or even your smartphone. Don't dwell on these scenarios with anxiety, but rather with calm awareness. This too is possible, and if it happened, I would find a way forward. Marcus Aurelius practiced this regularly, writing to himself. Begin each day by telling yourself, "Today I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness." This wasn't pessimism, but preparation, a mental rehearsal that left him unshaken when difficulties inevitably arose. The benefits of this practice are multifaceted. First, by contemplating potential losses, you develop contingency plans that may prove invaluable if challenges materialize. Second, you cultivate emotional resilience by rehearsing your potential responses to difficulties. Third, and perhaps most powerfully, you awaken a profound appreciation for what you currently have. This last benefit deserves special attention. When we regularly imagine losing what we value, we stop taking it for granted. The job that sometimes frustrates you becomes a source of gratitude when you contemplate unemployment. The partner whose habits occasionally annoy you becomes precious when you imagine life without them. Even mundane conveniences like electricity, clean water, or internet access transform from expectations into gifts when you visualize their absence. In psychological terms, negative visualization counteracts hedonic adaptation, our tendency to quickly normalize positive circumstances and lose appreciation for them. By mentally rehearsing loss, we continuously refresh our gratitude for what remains present. Consider applying this to your life in 2025. Perhaps you might spend a few minutes imagining how you would adapt if your industry was disrupted by artificial intelligence. What skills would remain valuable? What new directions might you explore? Or contemplate how you would maintain meaningful connection if a significant relationship ended. Who would constitute your support network? What practices would sustain your emotional well-being? This isn't about dwelling in fear or anxiety. Rather, it's about developing the psychological flexibility to face whatever comes with equanimity. As Epictetus advised, don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will. Then your life will flow well. Some practical approaches to negative visualization in your daily life might include, during your morning routine, briefly consider one thing you value that could be lost and how you might respond. When feeling particularly attached to an outcome, pause to imagine not achieving it and contemplate alternative paths forward. Before major life decisions, consciously explore potential negative scenarios and how you might navigate them. Remember, this practice isn't meant to replace positive thinking or goal setting. Rather, it complements these approaches by developing your capacity to face adversity with grace when it inevitably arrives. The Stoics understood that true tranquility comes not from avoiding life's difficulties, but from being prepared to meet them with wisdom. In 2025, as we navigate increasing complexity and change, this ancient practice offers a powerful antidote to both complacency and anxiety. By regularly contemplating what could go wrong, you simultaneously appreciate what's going right and develop the inner resources to handle whatever challenges emerge. As we continue our exploration of Stoic principles, you'll notice how negative visualization works hand in hand with the dichotomy of control we discussed earlier. Together, they form a powerful foundation for navigating life's uncertainties with both resilience and gratitude, qualities that will prove increasingly valuable in the years ahead.